I started this Photoblog called Tokyo Interlopers, and it was 100% inspired by, I don't know if you've heard of Humans of New York. It's a famous series in New York, but he travels all over the world taking photos of people and sharing their individual stories. 3 years ago, I started something similar, but I wanted to celebrate foreigners. I wanted to celebrate diversity. Well, not just foreigners, people in general, and what makes us different, and embracing our cultural differences, what makes us different, and our unique backgrounds, and what we can offer Japanese society, especially we live in a very homogeneous society here in Japan. A little bit about myself. I'm a photojournalist, but I wasn't always a photojournalist. I was a data reporter for a news company, so I just crunched numbers. And, but 3 years ago when I started this, I didn't even know how to take photos with a camera. So I started with this little fella here, my iPod Touch. And it's not even a phone, it's an iPod Touch. Like, I use it to listen to music, but I use it to take photos of my friends and wrote stories. So this is the website now. So you'll see a wide array of different people. They're all taken here in Tokyo. I think you might recognize one of them as one of your teachers. I interviewed her. So I launched this project, and I wanted to help promote diversity and inclusion. It's such a buzzword now. And I wanted to break down barriers with each story, because I believe that if you give people a chance to speak and tell their stories, then we'd know more about what's going on with people's lives, and we'd be more open, we'd be more accepting of one another, and like we'd be open to understand where people are coming from, and yeah, we'd also be more innovative, because like we'd be welcoming of ideas from coming from different places. So today I just want to talk to you about what I did and the key takeaways. So when I started with my iPod Touch, I had no clue how to take photos. I had no clue how to interview people. I had no clue how to write. I was writing a bit, but it's not like stories of people. If you're afraid of failing, well, it's going to happen anyway. It's inevitable. Before I actually go through this, I wanted to show you this meme. I don't know if you've seen this joke. My wife says I'll never amount to anything because I'm forever procrastinating. I'll show her, just you wait and see. So, I wish I had thought this joke. Let me ask you, anyone here been thinking about starting a band, or do some singing, do some dancing, acting, or doing some creative stuff that they've never done before, but they're too afraid because people will laugh at them? I saw a band practicing here earlier. They were very good. So if what's stopping you is you're afraid people will laugh at you, forget about it, because people will laugh at you. Maybe you can just laugh with them and then learn from that. So what happened to me? Or you're afraid that you're not qualified, or you're always waiting for the right time, perfect time, you're always planning. Are those reasons or just excuses? So what I did 3 years ago, it was springtime, right about this time, around April 3 years ago, and I had all these friends coming, visiting Tokyo, and I started taking photos of them. I started taking photos and wrote short stories of them, and then someone encouraged me, this is like Humans of New York. You should write more, you should post, set up a website, set up a Facebook page, and I didn't know any of those things. I didn't know how to do any of those, but I just did. So I just jumped into it, and I failed. I failed so many times, and I got rejected. Because I approached people, I asked my friend, hey, can I take your photo? I didn't have anything to show them, so they were like, that's kind of weird. You don't even know how to take a photo, and like, what are you going to say, and like, what's your website? Like, I can't. All I had was just a promise, an idea, but some people avoided me, I still remember some friends started avoiding me, like, he just wants to put you, oh, he's the guy who just wants to take your photo, like, he's creepy. But so I started to doubt whether I could do it. but I was passionate. One thing I had passion for the arts, and I believed that I could maybe change the world one post at a time. So I persisted. I got a few friends. I took a few of them with my iPod Touch, and you can see the quality is just, you know, even took my neighbor, there was a kebab store. And so, yeah, I asked friends, coworkers, neighbors, friends of friends, and I got better. I just got better. I kept persisting. I met all these wonderful people, and one by one, and then I learned how to set up a website. One by one, I met writers, different people from different backgrounds, and they all, well, not everyone, but a lot of them supported the idea. And then eventually, I got to a point where I could take pictures with this camera. So I dedicated, I invested, I was serious about it. I got better. And not only did it get better, after being booed, after being like rejected, and after all these doubts, I got feedback from people. And then I realized, if you don't know why you're doing something, then you're going to quit along the way. But if you know the purpose, so I was trying to promote diversity. I was trying to like give people a voice, help them connect. But I didn't realize until later on that it was helping people in more ways than I could have ever imagined. And so I get constant feedback saying, thanks to your website or thanks to your stories, I feel less lonely, I feel more connected. So I didn't realize there was a huge community here, and they can benefit from other people's stories. The stories resonate, and it helps them like go through whatever struggles and whatever thing they're going through here in Japan. So I got feedback. I found friends and allies, and you know, if you really work hard to do something, sometimes people listen, and you get recognized for that. And so, you know, like there's no guarantee, but sometimes when you do something and you work hard for it, someone notices. And so this is today's Japan Times paper, and they finally put my story here. So if you want to have a read of this, so it's a little self-serving, but this. I couldn't have timed this. This just came out just today. I didn't know it was going to be up today. I started with an iPod Touch, and with just this desire to connect and like help people, and help myself, because in the process, it was helping me. It was helping me discover who I was, helped me discover like my place in society and like why I'm doing this in the first place. So with that, I'd like to end. Like, you know, if you're not sure if you want to start now, if you want to do something, I'll end with this quote. I'm sure you've heard of it. And the day came when the risk it took to remain tight in the bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. In my case, it was more risky if I hadn't done anything. Like I was not so satisfied with my job. It was fulfilling, but it wasn't giving me that satisfaction. It was a stable job. But at the same time, there was something that I was yearning, and I knew I could do so much more. And so I took that plunge, and now I'm glad, like after 3 years, it's finally being recognized, and people are starting to follow, and it's giving people, you know, hope and encouragement. So I hope that when you think of something, if you have an idea, don't just stop there. Don't just stop with like planning or thinking of the perfect plan. Go through with it. Make that mistake. Make lots of mistakes. Learn from it, and learn from the experience, and help it make you better, make you a better person, and just keep on improving. So thank you. That's it for me.